Hello all, I just need a place to get some advice and maybe vent. Background: my fiance and I moved into my mom's place around a week ago. Since our finances are not doing to best, she has been off some of her meds for around a week due to not remembering to get more from her psychiatrist and couldn't get in until Monday. Needless to say, she has not been doing the best. Last night, my sister and I got into an argument over some stupid shit and my fiance came down to see what was going on. After I said it was my fault and that she didn't need to be concerned about it, she went off on my sister and eventually got nose to nose with my sister and told my sister that she is not afraid to pull a knife on her and that my mom needed to stfu. She then went over to her father's place with some of our stuff cause my sister was going to call the cops, never once saying that she was sorry. I talked with my family about how her behavior is unacceptable, and they said that I'm always welcome at that place. I then went over to my fiance's father's place where we discussed what happened and of what was going to happen. This is when I told her family that she has been hitting me. She outright slapped me to get me to shut up this last Friday. It has only happened 3 times, but 3 times is already too much. Either way, we sorted through all of our stuff we brought, and I'm living with my mother and sister for now, while she is living with her father. I want to be with her so fucking bad. We were literally planning on getting married on Halloween. She never used to be like this, but I feel like she needs to find herself first before we continue. I feel like we should go back to dating. I want to be with her so bad. I know she can be better. She will most likely be coming by tomorrow to pick up her stuff, and she wants to talk then. What do you guys think? TL. Doctor, fiance threatened my sister with a knife. Sister threatened to call the cops. Currently living with mother and sister. Even after all of this, I still want to be with her. Edit. I wanted to clarify something real quick. She was only off some of her meds. She didn't have her mood stabilizers and 20/60 milligrams of her antidepressants. But I think I have decided to at the very least stop the relationship for now. If she ever wants to get back together, then she will need to have proven that she has changed. I still love and care about her, but I can't go on any longer like this. She will be coming over with her family and we will talk about things. I cannot handle her as she is. We have so much to look forward to, and I want her to focus on herself. I also need to focus more on myself. It will be hard to get over this, but I think it will be for the best. I think she is not in state to marry for the time being, and you are not safe when you are with her. There is literally physical danger. She was violent to you 3 times, and was violent or threatening violence to your sister. That is not small thing. Does she even acknowledge she was violent and in the wrong? Also, please don't have kids the next time. Kids can't protect themselves, can't leave and consider whatever their family do as normal. Yes, have her family take over her care and you withdraw. Have some therapy around keeping yourself safe and seeing the signs of abusive relationships going forward, so your next relationship isn't a repeat of this one. You are not her therapy. You are not her punching bag. No, 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 no. She's been hitting you. No. For the love of God, please do not marry this person. I promise you, you will find someone else to love who will treat you as you deserve to be treated, with care and loving kindness. Please do not stay with this person. This isn't even touching on the fact that they threatened your sister and told your mother to shut up. Friend, this person is dangerous. They will take and take from you until you have nothing left to give. They could potentially destroy your life or end it. Please, hear me. They do not love you, and if they do, it's not the kind of love you truly need. He's 23. He thinks he can save her. Yeah, I would put all wedding plans on hold, if not off the table completely. This isn't a good relationship and now the well with both families has been poisoned by her actions. She is likely going to blame being off her meds, but that was also something she failed to get them in time. If she can't manage her treatment reliably, then she isn't doing enough. I would probably end the relationship over this. I can't really encourage you to try and reconcile with her when she sounds violent and unstable. Love isn't enough to make a good relationship and partnership. Has she hit you even when medicated? I just went off some meds. I cried my asterisk off for days over literally nothing. Did I hit or threaten anyone? Nope. This ain't about her meds, it's about who she is, and by the looks of it, she's been hitting him even on meds. I agree, end this. Has the hitting happened only after she got off her meds, or was it before too? Is this the first time she goes off her meds? Has she started taking them again? If this is completely uncharacteristic behavior due to not having her medication, I'd be okay continuing the relationship, providing she is serious with taking her medication and sets solutions in place, like keeping a couple weeks extra medication for emergencies. If she has violent/abusive tendencies in general, and it's just worse now that she's off her meds, you need to seriously reconsider, or at the very least find out how her psych treatment is addressing these issues. Another potential problem: if you want children, there is a big chance she will have to stop taking medication during pregnancy. If you're looking to build a family, you should think of how her behavior will affect this. I completely agree with your comment, but keeping extra weeks of medication is practically impossible, especially if a person takes any type of scheduled drugs. She has been hitting me. She outright slapped me to get me to shut up this last Friday. It has only happened 3 times, but 3 times is already too much. You've said it yourself. If it's too much, then it's too much. She has crossed those boundaries hard. She physically abused you and threatened your sister to the point where she felt like calling the police was an option. She will most likely be coming by tomorrow to pick up her stuff, and she wants to talk then. What do you guys think? I think that you should break up with her if the first words coming out of her mouth aren't an apology to you and your sister. No, it doesn't count if she needs to be convinced/prodded/forced to apologize. Do what you want, but I for one wouldn't be with someone who's so volatile that some missed meds would carry a chance of landing me or my family in the hospital. You can feel sorry for her, but don't let that override the physical and emotional safety of you and your family. This person is currently very far from being in a good enough psychological situation to handle a relationship at all. It probably hurts to hear this, and I really do sympathize, but it would behoove you to find it within yourself to accept that as soon as you can. Want to be with her, or don't want to be alone? I suspect the latter. Think hard on this. This sounds like trouble. I'd run away from that as fast as possible. She threatened to stab your sister, take her to the emergency room, and have her committed until she's stabilized on meds. When she gets out, she either agrees to stay on meds or you leave. Pretty sure she already agrees. Said she forgot. I want to be with her so bad. I know she can be better. No, you don't know this. You want this desperately, but it's a fantasy. Your fiance is not a fixer-upper that you can love into being a better person. She's a complete person who has an illness she has chosen not to treat. She is a person whose core value is that she is justified and permitted to hurt and terrorize people. This is who she is, not the fantasy version of her or the edited memories of when she was on her best behavior. It's interesting how many non-psychiatrists or people who have never experienced severe mental illness have a hot take on this. It's incredibly easy as a mentally ill person to either 1. Forget to take medication, or 2. Feel like you're better and stop taking it on purpose. Then there's option 3. Be delusional and believe you don't need to be on medication because you think you're not actually sick. It's probably one of those 3 things and actually says nothing about her as a person at all. This is not okay, especially now that knives are getting involved. You are worth so much more than feeling like your life is being threatened. I'm sure you love her, but this is dangerous. What if you one day have kids? Can she handle a pregnancy without being a danger to you, your family, and a child? What about your dog? It is normal for people to not be ready to break up even after something like this. You think you can fix the other person and things will go back to how they were. But in between then and now is a very dangerous time for all involved. That is a huge risk. I want to be well. I never forget my refills and always get to my scheduled appointments. I love my husband so much. I never want to be the person I'm without my meds in front of him. I have, on occasion, forgotten to take my meds. I can feel it within a few hours, and I hate that feeling. I hope your fiancé gets back on her meds and also gets help with her anger issues. Not taking your meds isn't an excuse to threaten to stab someone, let alone her history of putting her hands on you. I know you want to be with her really bad, but this is a really bad situation. And 2 years really isn't a long time in the grand scheme of things. Imagine how bad it will be in 2 more years if this keeps happening. You don't want to be with her. You want to be with the idealized version of her when she was on her best behavior and your relationship was in its honeymoon phase. That is not the real her. That was the trap, the bait on the hook. That person is not real. Your real girlfriend is unstable, irresponsible, aggressive, violent, and abusive. You don't want to be with this person. You want to believe the violence is a mistake or an accident, and the real her will come back when she finds herself, but it doesn't work that way. This is the real her. Even if she gets back on her meds and behaves like your dream girl for a while, it will never be the same, because you can't undo the past. You will always know what she did, and 9 times out of 10, people like her will do it again. Your mother and sister did not sign up for this. If you care for them at all, you'll make sure she never walks through their door again. Pack her stuff and put it outside so your family doesn't have to see her when she comes to get it. She never used to be like this. She never showed this part of herself to you before. Significant difference. When people show you who they are, believe them. You can't date someone's potential. You can only date who they actually are. Who she actually is right now isn't dateable. I would cut ties altogether, but if you want to stay together, don't be engaged, and definitely don't live together anymore. If your sister or your daughter or your female cousin or your female friend or your mother came to you and said that the man she is planning to marry has hit her 3 times, would you tell her to marry that man, or would you tell her to leave? Abuse is abuse. Do not marry this person. She is a violent and abusive person. It sounds like she hit you before she was off her meds, and it's generous of you to want to believe it's not her fault, and maybe it's not, really, who knows, but love should not hurt. Abusers do not stop. They escalate. I'm so sorry you're in this position, friend, but you've got to let it go. She's not well, and an abuser, or she is simply an abuser, period. Either way, mental health struggles impact millions of us, and it's still a fact that people with mental illness are more likely to be abused than be abusive. It's just her. She is and will always be an abuser. Really surprised about how poor the advice is on here. Everyone seems to be saying she'll be getting better, and that she might be a good partner in the future. That sort of belief, that she'll eventually change, is exactly why victims of domestic abuse stay with their partners. The reality is that there is virtually nothing you can do to help her if she doesn't want help, and even then it is very unlikely that anything will ever change. You should leave immediately, break all contact, and you'll look back at this many years later and thank yourself for doing so. It's a lot different when mental illness is in the picture. Some people are completely different, medicated versus unmedicated. If she has schizophrenia or something like that, there's a big chance that she will actually change. She needs to go get her meds checked and adjusted. Going off for a week from some of them isn't good, but typically it's not a week-long thing to get to that point. Depending on her meds, some it might be, some it wouldn't be. Depending on the adjustments, she may need to be hospitalized and have daily testing for her levels. It sounds like she had been having some problems earlier on and this just exacerbated them. I wouldn't get married or allow her in your parents' place until she starts making progress to getting treatment. Have her go to the urgent care. They'll do a fill to float her to her next apt